What is up, people? Welcome back to another episode of JK Sports. Today I have an NBA mock draft. The lottery just happened this past week. And of course, the only team negatively affected by that lottery was the Knicks, getting jumped twice. Of course. Let me just get that out of the way. Alright, but I'm over it. Anyways, alright. Minnesota, number 1. Who else? Karl Towns. Pretty much everyone's favorite prospect. I know this is going to seem biased. I like Okafor more. I think he has an elite aspect to his game, whereas I don't really see one with Towns. He's a great athlete for his size. He's a better shot blocker, better rebounder. Not by much, but he is. Okafor, I think a lot of his issues are conditioning. Late in games, he would stop boxing out. He would kind of reserve himself, as he was the only talented big man on Duke's team. So he couldn't really go after it more. That's what it seemed like to me. When he got in foul trouble, the whole team dynamic got changed. I mean, behind him is Marshall Plumlee. So, yeah, severe drop-off in talent. Anyways, so I have Minnesota taking Karl Towns, center out of Kentucky. LA, Lakers, of course, got a damn horseshoe up your ass, ridiculous, getting the number 2 pick. I know they seem like they're okay with big men, with Jordan Hill and taking Julius Randle last year, but you don't pass on Okafor. You just don't. So I'm giving them one of the top 2 prospects in the draft, and he's already one of the top 5, in my opinion, best big men in the low post, like offensive-wise. He's got so many moves down there, and he's got a crazy wingspan to go with his 6'11" height. So I think that's just an easy one there. Next, Philadelphia, I have them taking D'Angelo Russell. 6'5", kind of a combo guard, but he's a great passer no matter point guard, shooting guard. He may be the best passer in the draft. He's got great core vision. He's a monster from 3. I think, especially now with the playoffs, with so many teams that are three-point shooters, that rely on three-point shooting advancing so far in the NBA playoffs, I think D'Angelo Russell will be the 3rd, could possibly the 2nd, if LA wants to pair him with Kobe or learn from Kobe, though they do have Jordan Clarkson, who really showed out in the second half of last season for LA. It's just whatever it is. Kobe already said that next year is his last year. So if they see Russell as the best prospect, I don't think you should pass over him just so you have just one more big run for Kobe. That's my opinion. Knicks at the 4th spot, I have them taking Emmanuel Mudiay, point guard he played in China this past year, one of the top high school prospects. He already has an elite point guard body, 6'5", and he's jacked. Larry Brown said that he's like the best physical specimen at point guard, something along those lines, that he's ever seen. And that's Larry Brown, who's been coaching for like 100 years. So you can take that to the bank. And Knicks have needs everywhere outside of small forward, and even then, if they take Winslow, they could play around, move him to guard, move Carmelo to power forward, whatever they want to do. Just take the best prospect. In my opinion, it's a toss-up between Mudiay and Winslow, and I have them taking Mudiay because it's just a point guards league. At number 5, that's where I have Justice Winslow going. Orlando loves athletic, defensive-minded players at whatever position it is, and Winslow is a top 5 talent in this draft, in my opinion. A lot of people have a couple of the Europeans possibly in there, but I definitely like Winslow's elite perimeter defense, and to pair him with Oladipo and Payton and Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, that could be a defensive monster in Orlando. Just got to get some offense, but maybe they go offense with this one, more offensive-minded player, and that would make sense also. But I just have the best player going there. Number 6, I have the Kings taking Kristaps Porzingis, Latvian power forward that played in Sevilla last year in Spain. A lot of people like this guy too, Dirk Nowitzki. I don't know. I don't think so. Nowitzki was a much better rebounder, in my opinion, at this stage. Porzingis may be better defensive-wise, at least on the perimeter. He's 7 feet tall, and he's kind of lanky, but he's got three-point range that they think will translate immediately to the NBA. This guy, he's not going to be winning Rookie of the Year. This guy, you're going to need to groom him, and maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, he'll be someone who will be a big-time player for you. But he can be a role player, possibly in his first year. He just needs to build some strength. And to pair him with he's a power forward. You pair him with DeMarcus Cousins, that'd be pretty beastly if he ends up panning out. Number 7, I have the next big-time European player, Mario Hezonja. I'm not sure. Shooting guard, small forward. He's Croatian. He played in Barcelona last year. And I actually really like this guy. I'm not a big fan of Europeans just because, I don't know. As a Knicks fan, they do not know how to draft Europeans. So I'm scared off of him. But Hezonja, he's got elite athleticism. He's got some crazy finishes at the rim on fast breaks. His speed, he can hit threes. He can D up on the perimeter. You kind of see everything there. Is what makes him so special. And I know Denver has Chandler and Gallinari, among other people. So, but I think their contracts run out next year, and it doesn't matter. Just take the best player available, and that, in my opinion, here is Hezonja. Number 8, I have Detroit taking Miles Turner, power forward out of Texas. A lot of people had him as one of the top 2 high school prospects coming out last year. And if you look at his stats are eerily similar to Karl Towns. And you know he faced a lot more double teams in Texas. Texas does not have the stacked team that Kentucky had. So it's weird seeing him that low. But then when you watch the tape, he can't keep guys in front of him on D. He's got an awkward run, and he's slow. He's like crazy slow, but he's a really good shot blocker. I think he's a better shot blocker than Towns. He's just really good at anticipating the shot, but he's got good range too, and he's got great height, better wingspan than Towns. So if you can figure him out, maybe, I don't know, unlock his athleticism, which is not really a thing. I don't think he will be as good as Towns, but it's just he did play really well last year for Texas. And plus, Detroit will almost assuredly lose Greg Monroe this year to free agency, so he'll fit right in. That's another best player available meets team needs there. So next I have Charlotte taking Devin Booker, shooting guard out of Kentucky. Charlotte needs shooters. Gerald Henderson, I think, has a player option next year, and so a lot of things up in the air with that. But with the way the NBA is going with these 3-point shooters, with the Klay Thompsons and the Bradley Beals, a lot of people might overvalue Devin Booker, and I think this would be a little bit of a reach because he's not that athletic. He's okay on D, but he's got a good size. He's got good size, like 6'6", so he's got good size for a shooting guard. Number 10, Miami. I have them taking Trey Lyles, power forward out of Kentucky. I think they would do well to get a offensively talented big off the bench to spell Chris Bosh or Whiteside. Right now they have like Chris Anderson and another kind of more defensive-sided big man, and plus he's just another best player available, and he's just a supremely talented player. Number 11, I have Willie Cauley-Stein, center out of Kentucky. That's, 3 in a row? Jesus, they were stacked. Hibbert's going to be a free agent. I think he's got a player option that he may or may not pick up. David West I think has a player option, and he's 35 anyways. And they really rely on their defense, and Willie Cauley-Stein's one of the top 2-3 best defensive players in this draft, and I think this would be a steal at number 11. I just didn't see the fit there with any other team. Number 12, I have Stanley Johnson, small forward out of Arizona, going to Utah. This is another best player available, and Utah has tons of youth at every position, at all 5 positions. It's crazy. They have Burke, Trey Burke, Alec Burks, Gordon Hayward, Derek Favors, Gobert. They're just crazy talented and young. So I'm just gonna pick Stanley Johnson, though I know Gordon Hayward or Favors, whoever, or Gobert, one of them is their best player, but Stanley Johnson, you can make him fit. Shooting guard, small forward, move Hayward to shooting guard, whatever it needs to be. Phoenix, I have them taking Sam Decker, small forward out of Wisconsin. Kind of blew up heading into the tournament. Crazy athletic, great finisher, runs in transition. I think he'd be a good pick for them. Oklahoma City at number 14, I have them taking Kelly Oubre, shooting guard, small forward type out of Kansas. He, I think, has way more potential than Devin Booker, but Booker's ready to play now. And I think Oklahoma City doesn't need to rely so much on someone coming in and playing, though if they're going to try to make a run while before Durant's contract runs out, though he's going to stay in Oklahoma City, so it's not really a thing, but I think this is another one that he could. That's kind of what they're missing, Oklahoma City, is a shooting guard. 15, I have them taking Atlanta. I have them taking Rondae Hollis-Jefferson out of a small forward out of Arizona. Millsap is a free agent. Tamari Carroll's a free agent. Elton Brand's a free agent, so they could go big there too. But they're going to need some bodies at small forward, and this guy has a lot of potential. 16, I have them taking Bobby Portis, power forward out of Arkansas. Brandon Bass is a free agent after this year, and Portis was a really good low post player for Arkansas this year. Milwaukee at number 17, I have them taking R.J. Hunter. I really like R.J. Hunter. This may be a little bit of a reach. Hunter's a shooting guard out of Georgia State. He is a stat sheet filler. He's got the points, the rebounds, the assists. He's got great vision, and he's ready to play now. I could definitely see Oklahoma City taking Hunter over Oubre because Hunter's ready to play now. If they're trying to make that run, Hunter's is good to go, in my opinion. He's also an upperclassman. Houston, I have them taking Cameron Payne. This is another guy I really like. Point guard, Murray State. I couldn't believe that he was only 6'2". He I don't know, he plays bigger. He's also another point guard who gets points, gets assists, gets rebounds. And who knows what's going to happen with Patrick Beverly. Jason Terry and Pablo Prigioni are old as hell. So I think they would do really well to get a point guard to match up with Harden and all those guys down there. Number 19, I have Washington taking Kevin Looney, power forward out of UCLA. This is a deep big man class. Not so much center, but power forwards. There are plenty talented players here. Gooden and Seraphin, I believe, are free agents after this year. And then and Nene is 33, so I think they would do well to get a talented dude in the low post. Toronto, yet again another power forward. Giving them Montrezl Harrell, Snoop Dogg's favorite player, I'm guessing. Hansbrough is a free agent this year, and to get Harrell to pair up with Valanciunas and DeRozan and Lowry, I think would be good. 21, Dallas. I have the Mavericks taking Jerian Grant. I think Grant could go higher just because of his physical potential. He's a big point guard. Could play shooting guard. Dallas is didn't really have a point guard in play. I mean, Barea is more of a combo guard. He's okay at setting people up, but you don't want to really roll into the playoffs with Barea as your point guard. I like him. I think he's an off the bench spark plug kind of dude. So I think they need to go point guard. And if they hold on to the pick, Dallas loves to pick up players through free agency and trades and stuff like that. I could see them dealing this pick. And also they're losing Rondo. I don't know if I said that. Chicago, my dude, I have them taking Tyus Jones, point guard out of Duke. Best player in the tournament. They're losing, I think, Aaron Brooks. And Heinrich, he played 24 minutes a game last year. And Heinrich was ass all year. He was incredibly inefficient. And I think they need someone to be able to come on for Derrick Rose, who, you want to be careful with overplaying him. And, Thibodeau loves overplaying his people. That's if Thibodeau is back next year. Not so sure that's going to happen. But this is another best player available meets need. Portland, I have them taking Christian Wood, power forward from UNLV. UNLV's got some dudes this year. Aldridge, I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. I think they should. But if they don't, Aldridge and Lopez are both free agents this year. Wood averaged 16, 10, and 3 blocks around 3 blocks per game. He's got great potential, and they could let Aldridge and Lopez go just because I don't know. They don't want to pay a 30-year-old the amount of money that they're going to need to pay Aldridge. He's not going to take some hometown discount. It's probably his last contract. He's going to go big, but the good thing for them, Myers Leonard really showed out in the playoffs. Cleveland. Man, I went so many different ways with this one, but this is finally where Frank Kaminsky goes, I think. Kaminsky, possibly the best shooter in the draft. Maybe Devin Booker, but Kaminsky is 7 feet tall. He can hit, he can play in the post, he can hit the mid-range game, he can hit threes, he can hit free throws. And he's not horrible at D, he's not bad. So I think to pair him up with, potentially, if they lose Kevin Love, I think Kaminsky could fill in that role. He's not going to be as good a rebounder, but he's not a bad rebounder either. He's a good rebounder. But Kevin Love obviously is an elite rebounder. I said rebounder just like 1,000 times just now. But I think that'd be an interesting way to go. Get another shooter to pair around Kyrie and LeBron. Memphis next at number 25. I have them taking Rashad Vaughn, shooting guard out of UNLV. I could see them going with Dakari Johnson. Just they're not going to let Gasol go, but Kosta Koufos is a free agent this year, and they're going to need a big to come on for Marc Gasol, especially since he'll be 30, 31 next year. He can't be playing those crazy minutes. But they're also losing, Vince Carter, Tony Allen are old as hell. Courtney Lee, I think he'll be 30. They could get some potential there at shooting guard. Lee is who he is, and he's a good player, but that's who he is. He's not going to get any better. The Spurs, I have them taking DeLon Wright, 6'6" point guard out of Utah. He's another guy who gets points, rebounds, steals, assists. He gets blocks even. You don't know. There's a lot of question marks happening with San Antonio. What's going to happen with Duncan, Ginobili, Danny Green, Marco Bellinelli? They're going to need some guards. And this is a big dude who can play shooting guard, point guard if you need. And I think that would be a good pick. Though I could see them going a number of different ways, going a big man also. Especially if Duncan retires. Lakers, remember first pick I had them taking Okafor. With their second pick I had them taking Terry Rozier, point guard out of Louisville. Jeremy Lin and Ronnie Price are free agents. I don't anticipate either of them coming back. Rozier's fast and he's a good defender. I think he'll be a good complement to Clarkson, who's a big dude, is a big point guard, but his defense is a little spotty, but he'll get better. Boston, 28. I have them taking Justin Anderson, small forward from Virginia. Evan Turner, I believe, is a free agent. Yeah, I think he is. This is another dude who could run, defend, and hit the three-point shot, and he's got good potential. Of course, you want to replace. I don't think there's going to be that much of a difference between Turner and Anderson. I mean, Turner is a vet, so there will be a little bit of a drop off, but I think Anderson's got way more potential. Nets, I have them taking Chris McCullough, power forward out of Syracuse. There's another guy who can run, who can defend, who can rebound, who can block. The only thing is that he did tear his ACL in January, so you don't know where he is and if he'll be able to recover fully from that. And lastly, 30, Golden State Warriors. I have them taking Dakari Johnson, center out of Kentucky. What was that, like the 9th Kentucky player? Probably the only other true center that could go outside of Cauley Stein. Well, Okafor and Towns. But he didn't really have that much production in Kentucky. But there was just so many people there. You don't really know if he's gonna. He has potential, but I don't know if he'll ever really realize it. And he doesn't need to be rushed in Golden State. They do have Bogut and Azili there for another year, so they can ease him into getting some minutes and adapting. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know why you hate the pick, and give me a like and subscribe if you want. And see ya.